Does the ICJ Reference Case Studies in International Humanitarian Law and Judgments? In today's world, the role of international law is more important than ever. A key question arises. Does the International Court of Justice reference case studies in international humanitarian law in its judgments? As conflicts continue to unfold globally, understanding how international law applies is essential. The International Court of Justice does reference elements of international humanitarian law, including the Geneva Conventions and the laws of armed conflict. However, it is important to note that the court primarily bases its decisions on treaties, customary international law, and general principles of law. This means that while the court considers humanitarian law, it does not reference case studies in the same way that domestic courts might. The International Court of Justice addresses legal disputes submitted by states that consent to its jurisdiction. This can include matters related to international humanitarian law. For instance, the court has dealt with issues involving the interpretation and application of treaties that incorporate humanitarian law norms. Advisory opinions from the International Court of Justice have also touched on subjects related to the legality of weapons and the protection of civilians in conflict situations. These opinions reflected fundamental aspects of international humanitarian law. In recent years, the court has been involved in cases concerning conflicts where civilian protection is a key concern. For example, the Israel-Hamas conflict has brought urgent humanitarian issues to the forefront. The court has been called upon to address the application of international humanitarian law principles in such situations. While the International Court of Justice does not systematically reference case studies, it does consider factual contexts and relevant international legal standards. These include those derived from the Geneva Conventions and customary international humanitarian law. The court's judgments often reflected a synthesis of legal norms with the factual circumstances of disputes. This may involve implicit references to prior decisions or established legal interpretations. Thus, while the International Court of Justice incorporates international humanitarian law principles in its judgments, it does so through legal reasoning based on treaties and state practice rather than explicit case study references. Understanding how the International Court of Justice operates can help clarify its role in addressing pressing humanitarian issues. As conflicts continue to arise, the relevance of international humanitarian law remains a critical topic for discussion.